Okay, so we have about 13 participants, and we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. The balloons, they'll still have that chance, so we can go ahead and get started. Just a brief introduction to myself. My name is Andrew. I'm here on behalf of AdTech. I work actually in the marketing department for AdTech. I've been with AdTech for a little over 2 years now, and it's about the same amount of time that we've been Atlassian experts, the time that I've been with the company. Brief introduction to our company, AdTech. We are software configuration specialists. We've been providing professional services in the software industry for a little over 7 years now. And we've been Atlassian experts, as I was saying, for a little over 2 years now. In regards to the expert services that we offer, we do offer managed hosting, build automation, custom plugin development, agile workflow configuration, and also demo consultation. Today we're going to be putting on a webinar for you to kind of show you how we configured the Atlassian tools, particularly for agile portfolio management purposes. Now, for those who are unfamiliar with Atlassian, they are the developers of the popular issue tracking tool Jira, as well as the popular document management tool Confluence. We've been partners with them for 2 years, as I mentioned before, and they've actually been ranked in the software industry by Gartner as a leader, having over 30,000 companies currently using their tools to power their software teams.
You guys on the chair?
Sorry, I think there's somebody that's talking. As host, I believe you can mute the the noise. You can just do so, so that we can continue without the disruption. Or if you're there, if you can just mute the call-in user that is causing a little bit of noise. All right. Okay, so we'll continue now. So just want to give an overview of what we're actually going to cover in this webinar. Just a bit of a warning, I guess. We're going to be talking about agile portfolio management. So if you're not particularly familiar with agile and at least some of the basic terminology that people would use when discussing agile, discussing agile things, whether it be processes or sprints, backlogs, you're not quite familiar with those kinds of terms, then this webinar might not be a good fit for you because we'll be using that kind of terminology and might kind of go over your head. I can recommend some good material to kind of bring you up to speed with agile, what the whole idea behind agile is, what are the basic terminologies and characteristics of agile, and you can review that and then maybe come back to a recording of this webinar and it'll make more sense. But we will be using terminology such as user stories, backlog sprints, things like that. If you're not quite familiar with that, you might kind of go over that. A brief rundown of the portfolio management process that we're going to take on today. This is just a kind of a general process that we outlined to just show you how the tools can work. There obviously is not one single way to skin a cat. So what I want you to do is to think about your own particular scenario, think about your own particular organization, the challenges and the issues that you're facing and the way you currently work, and just take away the aspects of this webinar that you feel will be relevant to implement in your organization, and in that way, help to resolve any issues or challenges that you solve. The portfolio management process that we'll follow will first begin with an ideation phase, which is where ideas for your products or projects that potentially would be approved and make it into your portfolio, where they would come from, how they would get documented, and how they would be tracked throughout the process. And then we'll have a qualifications phase where those ideas kind of go through a filtering system to determine whether or not this project or this product would actually bring value and if it makes sense to move forward with, expensing efforts and resources to complete that project or product. Next, we'll get into the elaboration phase where once we've validated the idea, or at least we've gotten a vote of confidence from our executive team to move forward with the project, we would then elaborate it. And in this phase, maybe you would do market studies, or you would do, ROI forecasts, cost-benefit analysis, SWOT analysis, things of that nature to kind of give the whole entire scope of the project so that your executive team can now make a well-informed decision on whether or not to approve this project to move forward. And then once a project has been approved for construction, it is then loaded where we would manage the project health. We would make sure that it's on task, it's on budget, and that there are no critical or blocker issues prohibiting the project from being deployed on schedule. And then lastly, we have the done phase, which is where version 1 or version 0 launched, and now we're kind of just grooming the portfolio backlog. Iterating, we're having versions and we're improving on the product, and also again we're still managing the overall project and product health throughout the process. So this is the basic rundown that we'll follow, and a couple of the basic tools that we're going to be using. The foundation for everything that we're going to be talking about today is going to be on JIRA. And JIRA, if you're not familiar with, is Atlassian's issue tracker. So JIRA has the ability for custom workflows, custom issue types, great reporting and analytical features. So it makes for a good platform for us to start with. And then we're also going to touch upon JIRA Agile, which is an Agile project management plugin or add-on on top of JIRA. And what that's going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to actually visualize the workflow and progress of our projects and products in our portfolio. So this is going to allow us to see, Scrum boards and Kanban boards, burn down charts, velocity charts, and things of that nature. And then lastly, we're going to touch upon Confluence. And Confluence is where all of our documents are going to live. So, for instance, as we create an idea or we elaborate the idea, we're going to have a space on Confluence where we capture that information, where we can share that with others on our team, and where we can collaborate and get that document to a state where it is presentable to move forward to the next phase. But the real benefit of Confluence really comes in the fact that it is a central document repository. So we won't have to rely on emails going back and forth. We'll have one central location that everybody can log on and see what's going on, see what ticket that document is associated with, and kind of bring everybody up to speed rather quickly. Now, I'm just going to give a brief overview of the project management process, the Agile project management process, just so you can get another perspective of the area that we're going to be focusing on today in this webinar. So let's say, obviously, we'd have ideas for projects or portfolios, or projects or products that would essentially be voted upon or assessed, and those that are deemed as valuable or deemed to bring in value to the company, we would select them and we would identify those. And then we take those projects and we break them into features, and then we take even these features and break them down into user stories. And then lastly, we'd have the user stories broken down into specific tasks that we would break up into chunks of probably 2 to 4 weeks, which we would call sprints. And then we would kind of burn through these sprints until the project is complete. Now, we're not going to cover all of the phases in this webinar. This webinar is actually part of the series. And the first part of the series, we're going to focus on these 2 phases, which is how do we go from the ideation phase to approving and loading a project for construction. The other phases which would come after this phase would be like requirements gathering, and then versioning and release planning, and then maybe test case management, and things of that nature. We're going to address those in later webinars, so you want to stay tuned for that. But for this webinar, we're going to focus on the ideation and how do we go from there to selecting products that we're going to work on. Now, I want to do a little something here. I want to open the floor for you, our audience, to kind of briefly mention any of the problems or challenges that you're facing currently with regard to portfolio management in your organization. And so if you could just mention in the chat real quick, just so we can see that, so we make sure that we, tailor this webinar to kind of address those challenges and problems that you're facing. I'll kind of chat here. Okay. So Chara, I think as host, you will be able to see the messages coming in, so you can just mention if anybody is mentioning any challenges or issues. And you guys can direct your chats directly to the host or the presenter through the drop-down menu at the bottom of the chat window, just so we can see those as they come in.
I have one question here that Nick says that he's more interested in subsequent webinar topics. When will they be offered?
What's that?
The subsequent webinar topics, when will they be offered?
So we would have those, the next one would actually be, we're targeting for the first week of July, and that is going to be on Agile requirements gathering and planning. And then the next webinar following that would be on conducting sprints, versions, and release planning, which would be the month after. So we're trying to do a month, one webinar every month for 5 months that cover the entire Agile management process. All right, so I did a little bit of research to kind of figure out what was the main issues or challenges that we've seen in the industry, in this space. And so I've captured a few here for us that we've tailored this webinar to address. So we have one common problem of a large backlog of work not being done. So ideas are maybe coming into the system, but they're not moving forward or they're not getting done. You also have no focus or multitasking on several projects by the same people. And then you have unrealistic estimates and due dates that are set by the wrong people, overproduction on wasteful features, slow times to market, or projects that are taking too long to deliver, or missing, incomplete, changing, and ambiguous requirements, ineffective and wasteful meetings, and then lastly, no ROI value measurement or tracking in place. So these are just a few of the major concerns that we've seen in the industry, and we're gonna talk about how once we configure an environment properly, how we can address these issues to reduce or and sometimes eliminate these issues altogether. So right now, I'm going to hand over the presentation controls to Charles, who's our Scrum lead and our technical lead. And she's actually going to open up the Atlassian environment that we've created for managing the portfolio management process. So you guys are going to get to see a little demo of that. And then, like I said before, if you can just be sure to kind of realize that this environment is highly customizable. We've configured a very general solution here. We wanted to kind of spark ideas for what you can take away and implement in your organization. All right, this time I'm going to go ahead and transfer the controls to Charo, who will take over.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Charu here. I'm working as technical lead at Elastic. Let me first take a moment to thank Andy for introducing all of us to Agile Portfolio Management. So now let us see how the selection of proper set of tools and naming them as per our needs can bring us close to the perfect reality of creating portfolio management environment that will facilitate the compliance with the industrial best practices. So before we start the technical session, I would like to touch upon the main Atlassian tools, Jira and Confluence. For the audience who are not familiar with these tools, Jira is a tool used for issue tracking and monitoring purpose, whereas Confluence is a tool used as a document repository or document repository. Atlassian Marketplace offers many such tools and add-ons or plugins to explain the Atlassian products and customize them as per organization's requirements. At Atlassian, we have customized Jira and Confluence to come up with a solution for carrying out the activities and processes in portfolio management, which Andrew has already covered. So in today's webinar, we would like to share all that with you and help you meet the needs of the portfolio management process in Agile way. In front of you, you can see a slide which tells you the common problems you face currently with regards to portfolio management. So these are the set of questions any organization can face in this area. When we aim to manage these and still have the effective portfolio management, Jira and Confluence can be the best helping hands to automate the monitoring, tracking, as well as to have supportive tools for decision making, which can decide the roadmap of the organization. So we can see that the slow time to market or too long to deliver or maybe ineffective and wasteful meetings, maybe no ROI or value measurement. All these can be addressed using the small solution that we have developed. I'm sure that your organization can come up with a different workflow or different management process for portfolio, and we can develop a solution for that as well. As Andrew mentioned, the concept or the idea undergoes many different stages in its life cycle. So on your lesson side, you can see that there is a process which Andrew has already gone through, right from the idea getting initiated to the idea getting converted into an actual project or a sellable product. To capture these stages, Jira offers us a facility of imposing workflows. This workflow is nothing but a structured flow of stages to which our concepts entail. To travel from one state to another, there are transitions that also give us opportunity to fill in required details relevant to that particular transition or state for the particular idea or concept. This is possible through various custom fields and screens in Jira. These workflows, custom fields, these themes, all are completely customizable and they can be molded as per the organization's need and decision. Data captured during these fields and meetings can be further used to generate the statistical reports that can play a key role in decision-making process for the organization. So I'm going to quickly show you how the workflow looks. In front of you, you can see a small, different stages that we have tied together with different transitions. So maybe the initiative, qualification, or approve for elaboration. These are all the stages in the life cycle of the concept. A concept being in getting initiated has to undergo these life cycle stages in order to seek the approval or get closed. So let's see how we will be able to create this particular concept and see to it that how it goes through the work. Now you can see in front of you a transition for a create issue, where we will be creating an issue in Jira where I'm actually capturing nothing but the idea that has come to my mind. So maybe an idea has come to my mind saying that I'm going to have a variable device for creating Jira issues. Now for this, I wanted to capture, say, the priority of this particular idea for my organization, maybe the concept category. So now concept category, this idea I'm categorizing as say a new product or application that my organization would want to launch, or maybe just the product extension for the existing products, or maybe say internal improvement to the organization, or maybe marketing or executive management. At this point of time, this is the new product or application I would like to launch. I will briefly capture my idea here saying that I want to build a variable device for creating Jira issues. Now, if at all I'm able to anticipate the risk of, this particular idea, I can simply go and say that maybe I think that the risk to outcome is medium. Now, coming to the strategic objectives This asks me what strategic objectives does your idea align with. Now, these strategic objectives are different for each company. I'm sure your organization also has these strategies and feel that every concept or every project that introduced in your company has to adhere to the strategies. So Aztec has these strategies, and I feel that the idea that I'm going to log or maybe I'm going to capture is going to establish my company as a leader in software industry, or maybe yes, it's going to increase the customer satisfaction as well. So I'll quickly put my name as the idea submitted, and I'll click on create. The moment I click on create, you can see that there is one ticket got created in Jira. And let's see what all I have captured and what I can see over here. So this is the view of the Jira ticket that, or the concept that I captured. It is in initiated status right now. It has got a workflow associated to it. So this is going to tell us the roadmap of the entire concept or the path or life cycle of the entire concept, my idea or concept travels through. You can also see that the overview that I have captured in the first screen that has been all mentioned for. At the same time, you can see that there is one page that got attached to this particular ticket. Now, I'm very sure that whenever a person wants to launch an idea or something, and he or she comes up with an idea, this is not the only information one would like to have. You can, understand that describing your idea, capturing the problem is really important. So we have given this facility to come to Confluence, where it's very easy for the user to come to Confluence and go back to Jira from Confluence by having this back-to-back possibility here. In Confluence page, we have superimposed the template for the particular ideation or idea initiation process, or maybe the idea initiation stage. So in this stage, we would like to prompt the user saying that please describe your idea or capture the problem your idea is going to solve, or maybe how you feel that your idea is going to solve this problem. Or maybe at this point of time, if the user is aware of the business benefits of the idea, he or she can mention them here. Maybe through mockups or references can be captured as well. At the same time, you can see that these two tables are giving you the information right from the Jira ticket. You can see that whatever we have captured in Jira ticket, this information is handy for me whenever I want to capture any details about my idea. So let's say that I have already captured everything in my idea initiation. Now let's see what happens after I have already initiated that. So you can see that after initiation, we would like to assess the idea before we go ahead in any of the stages of the life cycle. It's very important to know why do we have so many stages here. Because as we go further in idea or concept life cycle, more and more people are going to invest their time in this. And in order to, have their time invested in the particular concept or particular idea, we need to know that the assessment of the idea is very important. Let's now go ahead and assess this idea. You can see that there are three different parameters based on which we can assess this idea. We have already captured the category of the idea to see what strategic alignment is. We have also captured the strategic objectives that your idea aligns with. You can capture the reasoning here. Now coming to the important point, that is the overall strategy or maybe the vision of your organization. Now at Aztec, we have got 4 of these questions to which we feel that these are the vision of Aztec, and we want that every concept that realizes in this particular organization has to adhere to at least any of these concepts. Now let's try to answer these questions. It asks me whether relevance to Aztec anywhere. I would say yes. Relevance to agile dev team, I would say medium, or maybe the relevance to an integer system, it's high. Relevance to software release management, yes, it's very high. Now this is how you are going to capture the strategic alignment. The very important part comes with the business value assessment. Maybe at this point of time when we are in the assessment part of the concept, we are not sure of the exact revenue that this idea is going to generate. But we can surely capture it through selecting a particular slab, say $10,000 to $50,000. Maybe it is going to decrease in cost, say $0 to $10,000. Now let's categorize it based on innovation. Do you feel it's innovative? Yes, I think it's highly innovative. Customer value, how much customer value this idea generates, how important this idea can prove to my customers. I think it's high in customer value. Coming to the feasibility, what is the feasibility of this concept? Now, feasibility can be calculated or drawn or concluded from many parameters such as the resource ability, financial condition of your organization, or maybe the market condition. So right now, I feel that feasibility of this idea is very medium. We only capture the risk to adoption. Okay, at this point of time, if you feel that risk to adoption is not medium, but we have very low risk while implementing this idea, so we can always go ahead and update the risk to adoption. Now here I will comment that the assessment of the idea is done. Once we do this, I'll simply click on assess, and you will see that this particular idea travels from initiative to qualification stage. So we are in the second stage of the workflow where we have created, at the same time also assess the particular idea. Now, do you think that this is enough to assess the idea or qualify the idea? I don't think so. In that case, we have another Confluence page which has got linked to this particular parent idea, where we have different set of questions and different set of topics based on which we dive deep into the idea and gather the information related to, say, value to customer, or best suited for, or maybe the target buyers, or maybe the reasoning for anticipating this. Now, in this case, it's again very much easy for me to have this particular concept summary handy, which comes directly from the Jira ticket. And also, I have direct connection with the Jira ticket if I want to traverse that. Now, let's go back to Jira ticket and see what has been captured. You can see that there are different tags based on which I can have an overview, maybe the relevance, or maybe some information about the cost that I captured and the business value information as well. So this information is bifurcated as per the parameters that are there, and it gives me nice overview of the different parameters or the different aspects of the concept. Now let's say that I want different people in my organization to have a look at the information I have gathered about this idea. I would like to share this particular Confluence page with different panelists or maybe the reviewers. I want their feedback, comments, or maybe their suggestions on this idea. For this purpose, we have come up with the ad hoc workflow from Confluence, which is a very small 4-step workflow, which has draft ready, reviewed, and published, or only these 4 steps. It is possible for me to simply go and make my document ready for sending it for review. Once I say accept, you can see that the status of the document has changed from ready to review. Now, say for example, I want to send it for review. I want to send it to Andrew for review, and I will see that please review. I wanted his review coming for this, but he is not directly involved with this particular idea. But at the same time, I want his review for this. I can simply say assign. By clicking on assign, an email would be sent to Andrew, giving the link of this particular Confluence page. So Andrew can jump to this page, he can review the page, and he can actually give his feedback over here as they accept or reject or cancel out. I've got one, I can show you one thing over here where let's see that there were 2 reviewers. One has accepted it and one has rejected it. So in this case, I can have discussion with the person who has rejected it, or maybe I can just have a look at maybe the review comments or the feedback comments I have received from different people. Now this is very interesting when you want to involve more than 1 people, more than 2 people in decision-making process. Now I would like to show you the assignee that has come in picture. Now this particular idea has got assigned to PFM coordinator. So we think that your PFM coordinator is kind of the gatekeeper, and for all the ideas that are flowing in your organization, and he or she is responsible to take care of the ideas who are being initiated and they are getting qualified, and they have to be traversed through the entire workflow. So the accountability of all this lies with the PFM coordinator. I'm sure that your organization can have different designations for this, or maybe a single person, or maybe a family. So let's go ahead and see that we've already qualified the idea. Here we have to just answer a small questionnaire in order to be sure that the qualifications provided in the Confluence is reviewed and approved. Approved, yes. If the concept was elaborated, why are we asking these questions again? For a very easy reason that whenever we go further in the life cycle of idea or concept, we have different people, very important people, investing their time and effort in this. And we want that every idea that is seeking time from different people is worth enough for that purpose. So let's say that this concept is worth elaborating, yes. Now here is one more interesting feature that Jira offers us. We can appeal for vote to different people here. Now let's say that I want Andrew to vote for this particular idea. Also, I have mentioned that he is in panel. Maybe your organization has a particular portfolio management panel, or maybe there is a single person who does portfolio management reviews. So you would want the vote from that particular person about your idea. So you can simply go and ask your people here. We wanted that these people should get added to the voters list. So I will say that please vote for this idea. And the moment I click on qualify, an email would be sent to the voters and their names will be added here. You can see that in the voters list, these two voters were added. Now it's very simple for Andrew and Anup to go and vote for the idea. They simply have to jump to this idea with their own Jira login. They can see an option here to vote for the idea. The moment that you can press, the voting here or the number of votes for this idea would increase. I'm not saying that this is the only decision point to decide whether the idea has to go ahead in the workflow or not, but definitely the more the number of votes, it boosts the confidence of the liaison coordinator to elaborate the idea further on. Now let's see what is happening in the workflow. Where are we? So we are in the approved for elaboration. Now, if we think from the approved for elaboration perspective, this is nothing but a bucket, a status that is just a bucket to hold all the ideas that are qualified but yet to be elaborated. Now, if we see the elaboration, there is a little detailed case than qualification. We try to gather as much information as we can in elaboration from the market perspective, from the technical perspective, the ROI, measurement of your business value and whatnot. So when we plan to do so much work on that, it is very much essential for us to prioritize the idea in the approved for elaboration phase. Now this prioritization can take place on maybe the number of votes, or maybe the group overview, the concept priority. So let's say that the concept priority here is major, and I feel that my idea is critical, and I want that this idea to be addressed as early as possible. Now let's say that we want to start the elaboration. Now, as far as the variable device for creating the issues is concerned, that was just an idea that we started with. But if we think from the technical perspective, maybe I'm not very sure how that is going to shape up. So in this case, any organization would feel that we should have a technical POC or proof of concept or a technical prototype developed to just build the confidence of the organization or the technical. Now, when we are using Jira, we are talking in terms of ethics and stories. So we would be doing the entire chunk of work to the epic. So the entire technical POC or the technical prototype will be carried out under a POC and it can be monitored very well through epic. So I would need one epic corresponding for elaboration. Now I will say that a technical POC maybe is required. Now when I say that the technical POC is required, it is very much essential for me to assign this particular epic to someone. Now let's say that we have another epic which is got linked to this particular idea. And of course, if you see the epic, the idea is also linked to this particular epic. So whoever this epic gets assigned to, the delivery manager or the technical manager can always jump back to the idea and see where exactly are we on track or are we doing the right technical POC or not. For our idea, let's see that we have already completed the technical POC and we are happy with it. We would like to now go and elaborate. But before that, I would like you to show the elaborated idea elaboration template that some of it. Now here you can see that it is more in detail than the idea initiation, idea qualification, and this is something that we have more information. So here we validate the concept based on market validation, maybe problem statement, or maybe the competition analysis is done, along with market surveys, maybe we draw the business value based on ROI, cost analysis, and whatnot. At the same time, we also try to capture the acceptance criteria. This is very important. Like when a person is doing elaboration for a particular idea, it is very important to understand what exactly idea we are trying to implement. Now, by giving the acceptance criteria, it will be very easy for us when the implementation of ideas completed. We can always measure how successful we were, how close we are to the acceptance criteria, and what is the delta, what next to do. So the retrospection can be done very easily if we have captured the acceptance criteria. Now you can see that all these component pages which I have shown to now, they all adhere to some or the other templates. I'm sure these are the templates for athletes that we have come up with, that your own organization can have the templates that you feel like. I mean the parameters or maybe topics you feel like doing the analysis on, or maybe you feel that these all information is very important for your organization. You can come up with a template for your own organization, completely customized. So let's go back to the idea and see that have we elaborated. Yes, we have elaborated the idea. So let's answer these small questions again. Yes, the concept elaboration is the new. Now, here's an important question: that is the initial estimate captured. When we are elaborating an idea, we come to a point where we actually start calculating the total number of hours that we are going to invest in the idea. So let's see that yes, we have captured the initial estimate. Initially, say we have captured 100 hours. We feel that we will be putting 100 hours to implement this particular idea. The total cost is maybe $10,000. We are expecting that. We're not very sure about this, but estimated cost. Now again, when we want that set of people or say a portfolio management panel wants to review this particular idea, so at the same time we can send them an email using this small feature in Jira. Now you can see that I wanted to add an additional reviewer who is not on the PSM panel, and I wanted that this person, maybe a technical person or maybe a marketing executive or maybe anybody from the sales team, anything. It is based on the concept or based on the idea that we expertise for. So basically, all the PSM panel, the members of the PSM panel and the additional reviewers will receive an email saying that this idea is elaborated. Once they receive an email, they can simply provide their feedback comments on the idea, and you can see that right now we are assigning PSM panel. Now let me tell you that here you can have a single assignment because now based on your organization structure, it is possible that you are keeping only one person accountable to look after the concept in the PSM review stages, or maybe you have a panel of people who basically come together for a ceremony of having the review or of set of ideas that are elaborated and they are waiting for it. So it's going to be a big thing. And of course, before people come to the particular meeting or face-to-face review meeting, we want that everybody is on the same page. So if you look back to the idea, everyone on the PSM panel at the same time the additional reviewers are going to receive this particular page. And the entire information they would need for taking any decision for this idea, we have handy here. So we have right from when the idea was initiated, when it got qualified, till it got elaborated, or maybe the POC or the technical prototype that was implemented for this particular idea, everything they have handy. So based on these things, they are in good position to take some decisions about that. Now let's say that our PSM panel says that okay, we are approving the idea. So when we approve the idea, what happens? it goes in approved for construction. Of course, every idea that is approved from the existing parent cannot immediately start the construction. The construction of or maybe the approved for construction phase is nothing but a bucket phase where we actually hold the idea for the right prioritization or the right time to start construction. Now, all this is based when to start construction or how to prioritize these particular approved for construction ideas is based on the number of resources available or market condition or maybe the concept value. Say, for example, any point of time the priority for concept goes down or the concept, based on that, we will decide which concept to start the construction first and which one to later on. So now let's see that as our concept is critical, we would like to start the construction immediately. Now, before that, let's see who is the responsible person who is going to look at the concept right now. So you can see that when we start the actual implementation or construction for the concept, the delivery manager here is the assignment. Now, say for example, in your organization, you maybe have a technical manager or technical lead who actually looks after the construction. You can have that customized assignee here so that every concept that is in the approved for construction status comes to the delivery manager and delivery manager based on availability of resources at the same time with the consent of the business owners or portfolio managers can decide which idea to start construction. Let's see that we have decided to start construction. Again, as I mentioned that the entire work, implementation work or the technical implementation construction that is going to happen to the idea or the concept is going to be tracked and monitored through that. Now let's see that I have decided that there will be two different features for this idea. So I will say that this start construction. When I'm deciding to start the construction, I'm deciding that there are going to be two features for this particular idea. Now let's see what happens when I start the construction. You can see that there are these two ethics which got associated with this particular concept. If I open any of these two ethics, now let's say that there's one person who is going to look after the variable device GUI and the other ethic which is going to be completely managed for say the backend or backend integration. So backend integration and the GUI are going to be two different epics which can be run parallelly and the entire work can be seen directly through this idea. If we simply go and you can see that feature 1 is talking about the device GUI and feature 2 is the backend. Now just imagine a portfolio manager or maybe the idea submitter who has submitted this idea at any point of time he or she wants to know what is exactly happening with the idea. He can just jump to one Jira ticket and he can see that okay, these are the ethics which are created. So the construction of the idea is going on, so it's loaded for construction. At the same time, all the information that was gathered for this idea, what all things have been analyzed or what all things have been captured, everything is handy. So let's say that we have completed our work or completed the construction of the idea over here, and let's see that let's complete it. Before that, let's see what happens with the work. Once we have loaded it for construction, as we said that we have completed the work, we will go and seek approval stage. Now, it is possible that in your organization you do not have the exact number of steps and exact similar steps as we have come up with, but maybe we thought that before we actually close the particular idea, we can have a retrospection done on that so that it helps us to come up with say good decision strategies and good decision points in the future. So in that case, if at all I want to have the retrospection done for the idea, I will see that completed and simply click on complete. Whenever we require a retrospection, of course, I understand that we cannot capture it just on the Jira issue. So again, here you can see that you can have a retrospection page which can be attached to this Jira issue. Why are we doing this confluence of capturing so much information around this particular concept? Just imagine that if you want to have a look at the overall these ideas that are flowing in your organization, how would you do that? So you can simply jump on to the dashboards. The dashboards are nothing but they are giving you the overview of how many ideas are flowing in your organization. Maybe you can categorize them based on the status, or maybe the assignment, or maybe how many of the ideas are aligning with the strategic objectives and which ones, or maybe who is looking after this idea, or maybe you can have that how many marketing initiatives are in pending status or closed, or maybe are under construction. So these are nothing but this is just a set of gadgets that you can use, or maybe a time frame chart just to see that how many ideas were created since last month, or maybe a pie chart to show you the status, how many ideas are in qualification, or how many ideas are in initiated status. Now let's say that if there are different people accountable for different stages in the concept workflow or the idea workflow, so you can have different dashboards for those number of people. Now let's say that we have a PSM qualification dashboard, which clearly says that all the ideas that are in qualification stages, they can be categorized based on the concept category and priority, or maybe they can tell you the status, how many of them are pending, or maybe how many are loaded for construction, just to give an overview, or maybe all the qualification tickets who are of marketing initiative type, or maybe product extensions, or maybe new products, or maybe on weekly basis how many are created. So say for example now a delivery manager comes into the picture who is more concerned about the implementation part of every idea. In that case, he or she would be more interested in knowing who is the assigned of this particular idea, or maybe is more interested in how many ethics are there, or what is the type of work that the delivery team has to deliver in order to complete this particular idea. Now, this is just an overview. You can have this all customized as per the needs of your organization, or maybe the portfolio management process that your organization follows. And this is not just that you have the Jira Agile goals, which are called as campaign goals, in order to monitor the ideas that are there. I would like you to show that there are a few columns here, which are say new ideas, qualification, approved for elaboration, listing review, till closed. Now these are nothing but they are similar to what you have as in your workflow. Now you can see that there are different symbols which are based on the priority of the particular idea. So the critical ones, they are at the top. So you can have maximum, you can pay attention to these maximum, and you can have major, medium. So based on the concept priority, you are having the swim lanes of the idea. Now let's say that this particular idea is in qualification, and you want to just move it to collaboration. So it's possible directly through the boards as well. At the same time, you can see that there are two color cards that are associated with each idea. Now, what are these cards? When we are in approval phase, if I just get back to our idea showing the workflow, you can say that till approved for construction, there are different set of people which are involved in the workflow or the life cycle of the concept. And from approved for construction till close, there is a different set of teams and different set of people who are concerned about this. Now let's say that we are in the first approval of the concept. Now we are more concerned about how many hours are invested, or how much time that is invested for a particular idea. So maybe based on that we have given, or based on this parameter we have given color codes. Now these color cards which are green are telling me that we are well discussed. Now maybe the ones which are in red color, they are telling me that they are already open. So say for example, the estimated cost for this particular idea was just 50 hours, and then I'm in elaboration, it's not implemented, and I'm already over budget. So this is just an example that how you can have color codes. Or maybe if you want to see that how your closed ideas can be pathogenetic. Now ideas can get initiated, get qualified, the reviewers can pass them, then they can get implemented successfully and then they can close. Or the second part is that at any point of time in the life cycle, they can be dropped or they can be incomplete and they can be closed that way. So if you want to see that from the retrospection point of view, you want to see that how many ideas were closed successfully. You can assign the dark blue color for them, or maybe a black one. They are telling me that it's incomplete or dropped ideas. Apart from these color coding or the color cards, you can have quick filters to help you do this. Now we have come up with a few quick filters which they tell me the successful idea. So it simply tells me there were 3 successful ideas which were critical, or maybe these many six successful ideas which were major, or maybe medium ones there was one, or maybe one concept that was successfully complete. If you want to do the retrospection or the drop or complete ones, there was only one critical which got dropped out or incomplete, maybe 6 major which were incomplete, and so on. Apart from just the successful in the dropped one, you can see that based on the concept category, we can have the quick filter saying that the marketing initiator. So any person who is, say the marketing manager is interested in how many critical ideas are flowing in, which are which are from the marketing perspective. So we can simply go and click on the quick filter and see that these are the major or young ones. These ideas are flowing in, which are related to marketing. Or maybe if the business owner wants to see that how many new products or applications, and if he wants to anticipate that how many products his organization will launch in the coming future, he can simply have this. So these are the few gadgets which we can. Now coming to the concept construction part, this Kanban board is more to do with the construction or the implementation or the delivery of the concept. Just being a concept or an idea to converting it into a project or the selling product. So when we come to construction or implementation part, we are more concerned about the due dates or the efforts and stuff. Now here we have come up with the color coding saying that let's say that there was a due date to a particular idea and we wanted that for a particular reason that this product should be in market, say by such and such date. Few of these color codes are telling me that we are in winter, that the due date has already been crossed, or maybe the orange ones are telling me that yes, the due date is approaching. We need to hurry up. The green ones are telling me yes, we still have time at hand. So maybe just based on these color coding, we can actually lower the priorities of the idea, the time that we have in hand and resources that we have in hand. So based on these different, this is the tools that we have or the Jira provides us. It's very much possible for us to be decisive for the idea. So just to conclude my technical demonstration, I would like to stress on the one first and foremost point is that selecting projects that ahead in overall business strategy. Complementary to this, tracking profitability, optimal resource usage, scope, and delivery can give us a clear and real-time view of how the current project portfolio is impacting the overall organization's health. So having ensured that a project is on strategy, here the right tool like Jira, Confluence can give us the alert decision makers when the projects are, they are getting off track. So sometimes the cause of the drift may be even a change in company strategy. But in either case, the portfolio managers can see and act quickly to bring the project portfolio back on track. So with the customization of this portfolio management process and helping tools like Jira, Confluence, Jira, Agile, one can keep tabs on the proper indicators, as I showed just now, and the proper level, which enables us to continuously pick better projects and help the company for future success. So after all, blending the clear goals and the clear view of projects always empower us to the ability of having the act of decisive, which can lead us to successful portfolio management. So this was all from the technical point of view. I would like to now give back the to Andrew.
For that, so you're going to hand over the controls back?
Yes.
Thank you. By the way, Charo, while I have you here, how's my audio? I know there was some feedback before about the audio not being very clear. Am I clear now? Is everything good now from an audio perspective? Okay, great. So yeah, Charo, thanks again for presenting. So I'm just going to do a quick recap of a couple of the benefits that we've now seen as a result of having that robust and configured Atlassian portfolio management environment. So now with the environment we created, we see we have a prioritized backlog of projects. From there, we can also see that we have clear insights into resource allocation, via the dashboards. We have a robust process to ensure accuracy and thoroughness. Every idea that comes in goes through qualification, it goes through approval, so we can always make sure that the projects and the products that are approved have gone through the proper validation processes. Work is only being done on projects that bring in more value. That's why we have the qualification and the approval steps in place. The project cannot move forward unless it gets that confidence from the executive team or the portfolio management team that the idea is worth allocating resources to. We have quicker times to market. We have consistent and complete requirements. If you remember, Charo was showing us the Confluence page with the clearly defined templates that will have to be filled out in order for that document to be complete and to move on to the next step. So without those fields and those templates completed, the idea doesn't move forward, so we can ensure that we have the consistent and complete requirements. Lastly, we have informed and meaningful meetings. Everything about the project or the product idea is captured on the tickets and the linked Confluence pages, so anyone can kind of go in there, brief themselves, and meetings can fly by really quicker because instead of catching up on what the idea or what's going on, everybody is already up to speed, and we can now move forward with making the decision on what needs to be done next or whether or not we need to approve or disapprove the project. And then lastly, we have the reports and we have the analytics on project health. So one example of the way we show this would be the color cards, where we can have a color that would be associated with some sort of status or some sort of health indicator. And then we also have the dashboard that can provide us more insight into the project status and health and overall health of our portfolio management as a whole. So this brings us to the end of our webinar. Right now, I'm going to open up the lines for any questions or concerns that anyone may have, and we can address them really quickly. Other than that, we do have a follow-up webinar on Agile requirements that you also may want to stay tuned. Let me just go ahead and unmute you guys. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you guys so you guys can ask some questions here. 1 second. Okay. So I'm allowing everyone into the audio conference. So you could also put your questions into the question box on the side. Right underneath the chat menu, there's a little Q&A section there. So if you put your questions there, we can address it that way as well. Okay. All right. I'm not going to keep everybody on the line much longer. The webinar is recorded, and so we'll update you through emails when the recording will be available for you to review. And then other than that, please follow us on Facebook and Twitter for updates as to when we're going to launch the Agile Requirements and Planning webinar, which should be our target date for that is the first week of July. So stay tuned for that. All right, thank you, everybody. Bye.